What up? What up? I'm out on my walk this morning. I had with Mufasa, so I'm on my morning walk, getting him right. I'm gonna chop it up with y'all for something. I've been talking to a lot of the youth lately, like a lot of 16 and 17 year olds. Just how it's been. Like I've been low key, but I still been, you know what I'm saying, putting in work in different ways. So why is my account? It said my account is restricted for an hour. What type of shit is that? That's crazy. Yeah, see, I ain't even been going live, and I just went live right now. And as I'm walking, my phone told me that my account is restricted for an hour. This is what they be doing to me when I be going live real quick for everybody to be tapping in. When I be going live, I think the first time I went live in a minute, so y'all want to know why I ain't be doing a lot of convo. They been locking up my pages and shit, trying to affect my music pages, because they don't really want me talking like that. But just now, I'm up here on this live and it's telling me, real talk, like I can't, it told me I can't do something, you know what I'm saying, for an hour. It said my account restricted for an hour. I don't even understand how it could be restricted for an hour. When I just got up here this morning, I ain't been on Facebook. But I'm gonna keep it pushing real quick. My point was I talked to a lot of 16, 17-year-olds, a lot of the youth in the last month or two. And one thing when I sit down with the teenagers and the young adults, when they talk to me about knowledge, like they very susceptible, unlike the older generation, like our parents, they not acceptable at all. You start talking to them, they shut down and they one way. But then when we deal with, people in my generation, some of us is waking up and some of us woke. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us playing woke. But the youth, they really when I sit down and talk with the 16 and 17 year olds and the 18 and 19 year olds in the last past 2 weeks, I started noticing shit real quick. Like when I was talking to the groups of them, when I asked them, do they know, had they ever been to church or the mosque or anything, any type of religion? And most of them all said, nah, like I ain't never been to church before. So I said, had your parents ever told you about the Bible or anything? Like, and none of these teenagers, I'm talking about over like 20 or 30 in different situations, they all told me like, nah, bro, I ain't never been to church or I ain't never had it. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't even know the stories. Like the key to this shit, regardless of what you believe about the Bible or these books, some of the words that's in these books, regardless of what you believe, are real. You know what I'm saying? Tell you to honor your mother and father. You know what I'm saying? The blueprint of how to be. Every religious system teach you how to have a ethics or moral code, but the youth don't know. So think about it. As it's our generation who the parents, the 30 and 40-year-olds, right? Niggas grew up and heard about all this shit about church, and we got mad because we seen the bullshit in church. So we took our kids and shit out the church and out the religious system, but we forgot to do the job. See, as black parents and as people, where we failed and where we fucking up is that we can't do that. You know what I'm saying? It's we took our kids, we rebelled against our parents, so we took our kids and we took our kids out the church. We took our kids out the Quran, out of Islam. We took our kids out of it. But in return, the fact that we took our kids out of it, stop, Mufasa. Come on. The fact that we took our kids out of it is the Mufasa, stop and walk. Walk, bro. But yeah, my fault. It's another dog out here. But yeah, so we took my fault, y'all. I got this other dog was walking around. But we took our kids. I want y'all to see the failure. This is where we fucked up. We took our kids out of church. Mufasa, you gotta stop acting like that right now. I'm out here walking him. You gotta stop acting like that. Let that dog live. Let him go. All right. But yeah, we took our kids out of church, took them out, because we didn't want them to deal with the judgmental shit. Like, the Bible say, or to go to church in a pair of Timbs and khakis and a polo and a pastor have a sermon about you and your family and how y'all dressing. You know what I mean? Or we understand that God don't deal in money and God never dealt in money because no God needs a dollar from a human being because he don't deal in money, he or she, as we say. But what we hurt them was, since they don't know the stories. Like if we gonna take them out of church and out all these religious places, then as parents we got to be more responsible in teaching them the stories or the things that religious book would teach in the good side. You know what I'm saying? When I meet all these teenagers that's 19, 20, reason why they drilling and killing and doing all this stupid shit. Cause when I be talking to them, I be like, yo, you ain't never heard of this? You ain't never heard of this? And they be like, nah, bro. And then that's when I break it down to them. But see, the difference between the youth and the 30 and 40 year olds and the 50 and 60 year olds, It's like they use their brain. See, the fact that they ain't been manipulated by their parents telling them, oh, don't question God. When you talk to them, the youth can grab it and they really, you know what I'm saying? They really embrace it. They really hold on to it. You know what I'm saying? They really enjoy it. Like they really appreciate the knowledge. And one day I was out there, I was chopping it up with some teenagers a week ago. Mufasa, man, stop, bro. Problem, man. Come on. So, but my fault, y'all. Motherfucker acting stupid. So, but that's the issue. I think we so smart. Our generation, we so geniuses. We so smart. We not smart. We stupid as fuck. And my generation, like niggas, we the weakest generation on the planet in the last 100 years. Cause the niggas who 40 and 50, these niggas still out here trying to be 20 and 30 years old. Still out here on the corner gang banging, trying to be gang. And I watch this shit every day, and that shit corny. But when niggas got kids, niggas kids 16, 17, and they never taught their kids the truth about this shit. So I done sit here and talk to all these youth and 16, 17 year old, and none of these niggas ever heard of the Bible, never heard of Jacob, never heard of nothing. These stories is important for the development of young kids because regardless if you believe in the Bible, because I'm not a Christian or a Muslim, but I know the stories. When I talk to my kids, I can break it down to them. You know, Cain and Abel. The basis of that story was telling you that your brother, your family members will kill you. You know what I'm saying? It's your own blood or your own people's closest to you that hurt you. That's the key. You know what I'm saying? We got them other stories. The one story in the Bible where all of his brothers were jealous of him and they sold him into slavery, right? And I like I would tell my kids, that's what happened to black man and black woman. He got brothers, the Chinese man, the European man, you know what I'm saying? All these other races around, they was jealous of us. So they sold us into slavery. But in the Bible, it would say sold us into slavery. But even after they did all that to him, he still prospered. You know what I'm saying? These stories have real meanings that we can pass on to our kids. You know what I'm saying? Jacob and Esau fell in love with the creations. All of this is very important. So one of my biggest things that I want to push over, I started noticing the reason why the youth is drilling and killing because they don't know shit. We raising these kids at home, and we have most of the niggas that's their parents is half-ass adults. And as they say, like the children are only gonna grow to be half as intellectual. It can only grow to the spiritual, intellectual space as the parents, right? So if mom is still out there clubbing and out there wearing that fake shit all over her body, and she 40, 50, and she's still worried about, you know what I'm saying, the wrong shit at that age, and she's still out getting her nails done, going to bars every weekend. That's the environment that she put her kids in. Her daughters when they grow up, that's the environment that they gonna know. And that don't mean they can't do better, but they gonna have to want better. Come on, bro. And that's the true issue. I've been noticing that. Come on, bro. That's the real true issue in this whole thing. Before I'm about to let you all just leave, so you get on my nerve. Come on. But that's the truest story in this. So a lot of people, what's your intent? What's your agenda? If you're gonna take your kids out of church and out of these places, you know what I'm saying? That's why even me with all that I know, I sent my kids back to church with their grandmama, you know what I'm saying? Like 5, 6 years ago, because I can't educate these kids if they don't even have a foundation. So the foundation, when I send my kids to like, when they go to church, I'm not Christian. I grew up Christian, but I understand the power. Because as a kid, that's what kept me out of trouble because I understood like, you know what I mean? Love your brother. You know what I'm saying? Have respect for each other. That was the principle. Like we talk a lot. And I'm a knowledgeable nigga, so we destroyed the Bible and Christianity, but we was destroying the people who tampered with the words and the people that organized the books and did bad, but not the people who really doing something. Hold on, y'all. My Wi-Fi about to reconnect. And Mufasa was running me crazy just now. For real, Mufasa, that was wrong, bro. So we got to find balance in between the two. So I realized it one day just through all of the morning combos. It really hit me one day like, look, let them kids go to church. Let them kids learn. Because now that my oldest is 17 and shit, when I talk to them, I could build with them. After they leave church with their grandmama or whatever, I ask them, like, what you learn? And then they'll tell me what they learned, like how they told me the story about the brothers that were jealous of each other. So I broke it down what it means in the Bible, then I broke it down what it means, like, you know what I'm saying, metaphysically, then I broke it down to them how it relates to us personally. And it makes a difference to be able to get it. Let me get my tripod so I ain't gotta hold this damn phone. So we gotta find balance in between the two, and it's very important. And I started realizing that's why I try to come back whenever I really get a good idea or really realize something, I feel like I owe it to the public to come back because I'm one of the people that always talk knowledge. But we got to be careful with these kids because it really made me think. Because after talking to all of these 17, 18, 19-year-olds in the last 2 weeks, like, you feel me? And I talk to them and I be like, yo, y'all don't know the Bible, y'all know the Quran, don't know nothing. And they be like, nah. And so, like you said, like Shabazz Ali just said in the interview, she said, we always talking about kids as the future. The future is right now. You see what they doing right now? See how the drilling and killing and the music and the shit, like that's the future. We already living in the future. Because Lala, shut up. We already living in the future and we gotta recognize that and stop being so, you know what I'm saying, ditzy about this shit. So, the sad part is that a lot of us don't care and we think we know it all. You know what I'm saying? Can't nobody, first of all, when it come down to, you know what I'm saying, in our culture, when it come down to relationships, we don't understand how to code nothing. I'm talking about co-business, co-own, co-parent, nothing. We don't understand those concepts. That's why most black people and most people on earth, not just black people, but a lot of people don't know how to coexist. Because the society is designed for our failure and not designed for our success. The society, like when we look at the music, like with Sexy Red and all of them, you know what I'm saying? A lot of us call it thought music, but it's the number one record in the country, and we not thinking. If Sexy Red record is the number one record in the country, it's not the grown women playing that shit. You're not gonna see a bunch of grown women outside 34 talking about ski. You're not. So if she's selling like that, then you got to think about who's buying this shit, who's streaming this shit. It's our daughters, the young girls who don't know no better. Meaning, like, when we was younger, because y'all know when we was younger, we watched videos. You know what it did to us? We went outside and we tried to mimic that shit. That's what led us to the shit. So with our daughters seeing this shit, and then they seeing that these thotties is getting money off of being thoughts, it just running it up. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's why I say we all owe it to our kids and to our, you know what I'm saying, not just our kids, but our nephews, our nieces, you know what I'm saying, and kids that we can touch. And I sit down with all of them, and it's crazy because I would sit down with them, and then they would hit me back and be like, "Bro, pull up on us." So I pull up on them just out of respect, like you know what I'm saying. I'm twice their age, but I can sit in a room because I still got my youth. So I'm still in there like it ain't no difference than me chilling with my homeboys to be real. So when I say some deep shit, the young niggas be like, "Oh, word, real shit, nigga." You know what I mean? When I'm talking to a group of niggas my age, it randomly happens. The older crowd, older than us, they be looking at us like, I don't want to hear it. Niggas my age, a few of us, we at that point where we could talk it. But when I'm talking to these young guys, they talking about 17, 18, they ain't even got into the world yet. And I'm like, look at this. You know what I'm saying? Like I was telling them like, yeah, the word for God in Arabic is Allah. But Jesus, he spoke Aramaic. And so he spoke Aramaic sound like what? Arabic. He spoke a form of Arabic. And so Jesus, if you really read, you realize that what he called God Allah. But they don't tell us that because it conflicts with the Christian church. Because they can't tell you that Jesus, feel me, was Muslim. They won't tell you that. They won't tell you that Yeshua used to walk around places and say, wa salam alaikum. You know what I'm saying? Peace be unto you. You know what I'm saying? That's how he greeted the people before he started talking. So it's a lot of information that we got to get, but it's important for us to give it to our kids. So remember, my main point is if you Muslim, you Christian, you Jewish, whatever you is, Jehovah's Witness, even if you ain't in the church no more because you don't like the foul shit of the church, if you're going to take your kids out the church, and it's your job to educate them, because taking them out the church or that system of religion and just letting them exist, that's not going to work. Because first of all, my generation, they too coward to parent and they too coward to whoop their kids' ass. And that's the issue. That's why I be saying, like, it is what it is, man. I'm never gonna change up my tone because I come from a different class. I was raised around like the old school people. So my logic, I understand today, but all we doing today is bullshit. And I'm watching this shit. As men, we can't parent because we can't even tell our women, we can't give most of our women direction the right way because of their emotions. And so now, I see a lot of women say black men, black men, black men. For sure, we need to grow up. But black women also need etiquette classes, how to be ladylike. Black men need to learn we need classes on etiquette too as men. Women need to learn how to separate their emotion from their logic. Because just because you feel a way don't mean you right. And those are the things, right? And the emotion and logic are two different things. The average man is logical and the average woman is emotional. I know a couple logical women because they was raised by their fathers, so it's just how they are. And I know a couple emotional thinking men, like I'm talking about, because we all got emotions, but emotional responses. You know what I'm saying? So if in a conversation, and I show you emotion, like I was telling the kids, I told my kid, I said, y'all going to basketball court, y'all playing ball. And then I say, yo, your youngest brother, he keeps shooting threes. Y'all lose every game that day. The oldest brother be like, yo, stop shooting threes, bro. Now you got two choices as a little brother. You could be logical with your answer or you could be emotional, right? The average answer today, because black people only exist in their emotions because how they trained us, is the young boy gonna say to his older brother, nigga, you ain't my daddy. Fuck you talking to? I do what I want. That's emotional. right? But if a person, but if he was like, yo, stop shooting threes, and he'd be like, all right, bro, I got you. I like shooting threes, all right, I got you, bro. That's logical, right? Because and whether man or woman, but especially women, if a man can come to you and tell you something, because we have to recognize that the truth and the lie is almost the same thing. Headphones off real quick so y'all can hear me better. The truth and the lie is almost the same thing in a way that it resonates to the ears and the spirit. Because the truth hurt and lies do too. You know what I'm saying? So when we talking, and as men, we gotta recognize when we telling our women the truth, it's like we telling them lies because it hurt. And if our woman doesn't want to accept what we're pointing out to her, then she rejects it, and then she'll use her emotions, whether she realizes it or not, as the foundation of her yelling. So you might tell a woman something like, look, man, I need you to be more on these kids. You know what I'm saying? But you come in the room like, look, man, I'm tired of this shit. Why don't you be on these kids? Right? Now, what she takes from this in psychology, a woman, is your words came through, right? But the frustration, the boat that your words rode onto her ears, the boat of frustration that your words set on, when it hit a woman's ear, she heard the frustration. Your words, they went past her, but the frustration is what resonated. So her emotional response is like, don't be yelling at me. And we have never evolved past that. So whether we talk about black man and black woman, it's an equal thing. We can't blame black men for the problems of the black community, and we can't blame black women. It's an equal thing. But if we ain't willing to accept our roles, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Black man is a problem to society. But then y'all never. It's funny how when I see women, like it's funny when I see like the women of our culture, and I mean it respectfully. It's a lot of stuff that's allowed to be, and it's okay. But if a man does it, it's not okay. And I think it's important for us to have that dialogue and that conversation so that we can do that. And I'm not afraid to have it, man. I'm not perfect. You know what I'm saying? I got a wife and shit. You know what I'm saying? I've been around for minutes, so I know the struggle that we have. And when I talk to my bros and I talk to the older men I know, and we think our problems are isolated when we really all got the same problem. And even if you got a good woman, she's still a woman. So you got to remember, just like you got a good man, he's still a man. And if you can't get them to break them habits, it becomes a repetitive cycle of emotional debate. But meanwhile, and this is why I say a lot of people, you know, I tell men, I had a couple psychiatrists tell me that I talked to study the mind. They say that most of the time when men and women go to counseling together, the men are always more susceptible to the information than the women. So most of the time, the women can go to counseling and choose just not to give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? They just choose not to care. So those are the biggest issues right now. You know, I've watched in the last 2 years, everybody I know that's been together for like 10, 15 years, all them niggas broke up. You know what I'm saying? I might be one of the last relationships that's been going on for a minute. But everybody else I know broke up. You know what I'm saying? Or separated, like everybody. So clearly there's a separation right now, and the separation is deep because at the end of the day, we can't tell our woman nothing. She don't want our direction. You know what I'm saying? And like they're making that post about all of the black women in America that treat their sons like their husband. And it's like it's an emotional thing. Like I'll give you an example. It's a lot of women out there. Let's say they're the only child, or they got 2 sisters, or they don't got no brothers. They never met their dad before, and they've been with their mom, right? When it comes down to raising the kids, if you date a girl like this, she don't mean no harm. But when you try to discipline these boys, and when you try to put that structure on them, she only know how women function because it was her mom, and her sisters. So unconsciously, sometimes women, they'll put their emotions on their kids. So it's like, you know, we have to argue with them like, look, did you grow up, excuse my language, did you grow up with a penis or a vagina? All right, so that means as a woman, you